and the golden voice of Neal Ruhl. Sit back and relax. It's time for your daily dose of Big D energy.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Big D Energy right here in the Woodward Sports Network.
Big D.
Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, all here with you. And as always, make sure you jump in the woodwardsports.com chat thread, subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel, and you are in there. And you can get your thoughts out there. You guys drive the show a lot of the time. Subscribe to the Big D Energy podcast, to iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, wherever you get your podcast. Now, you just subscribe. What's the next move, Spenmo?
5-star.
Give it a 5-star review. Leave a review, an entertaining review, please. Make me laugh, clown. You guys always do that to me, right? People want to trigger me all the time. Well, this is your turn now to reciprocate. Make me laugh, clown. What's up, D-Mac?
All good. All good. Everybody getting ready. Tomorrow is sort of the early Christmas present with the Lions game. We got a big show today. A lot of interviews. Excited.
Yes.
Our boy Jason Ross getting the opportunity to do the exhibition game tomorrow for the Lions. We're excited to talk to him. Obviously, getting right back into our hometown hero with our boy Ronnie Cyrus. And
yes,
that's my favorite part of the week, to be able to put the spotlight on a veteran that deserves it. And then our boy Josh Parisian getting ready to throw some dukes, getting the hands up. And, he's got to be excited, obviously a little disappointed because of, what happened last time with health-wise and stuff like this. So he'll be raring to go. It'd be great to talk to him. Excited as always. I think the first thing we got to start with is because we've been waiting for the financials of the Teddy Bridgewater deal to come out, and $5 million, 2.5 guaranteed. That's pretty much where we thought it would be, right? And pretty much as we talked about the other day when we were at Feldman, Teddy Bridgewater had two choices: either sit, wait for somebody to go down and have your leverage, or look like what I thought he did. Looked into the Detroit Lions, what they were building, sort of the culture, and go, hey, I can go work with Hendon Hooker and sort of be, if need be. You heard how glowingly Dan Campbell talked about him when he was with them in New Orleans, so I think it's a perfect fit, and the money fits, Neal.
No, absolutely. Also, some news from last night. Tiger Town of the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Our old buddy Michael Lorenzen threw a no-hitter last night.
Good for him. 5th time Major League Baseball history debut, home pitching debut, through a no-hitter. So, it's sort of apropos.
It is.
It's sort of apropos, but I'm happy for him.
Nick Castellanos hit his 200th home run in a 2-home-run game.
Well, there we go. It looks like, hey, what have your former Tigers done for you lately? It is what it is, buddy.
Of course.
It is what it is. And Torque went yard twice.
Mm-hmm. He did, as a matter of fact. Crushed a hanging breaking ball, by the way.
Hey, hitting the ball
That was
hard.
the swing I was looking for. Now, don't follow this up and be 3 for the next 19.
That's what we're looking for, right?
That's it. But that's the next step. And to be fair, I've always said this because my Alavila loyalist people were giving me a hard time because, they say, oh, you've been critical of Torque. I always said that. His minor league at-bats were cut in about a third. He just came right up. There was going to be a period of adjustment. That's why I thought it was so laughable when people were like, well, just a Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson rookie parlay will hit and we'll go to the playoffs. Like, no. Like, you can't have that both ways.
Yes,
but no, that was the swing I was looking for from Spencer Torkelson last night. That hanging breaking ball, that second home run he hit a mile. That's it.
So consistency, that's what we're looking for.
Absolutely. I'm told in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread by John Effing Lord, El Mago is back. Can you confirm, Spenmo? Is El Mago back?
He is back, indeed.
Is he really?
No.
Okay.
Miggy had like 3 hits.
He didn't swing and miss,
Yeah.
so I watched him look at it called third strike.
That is true.
Miggy had 3 hits past Tony Gwynn.
By the way, I haven't confirmed the numbers, but he's right there. If he's not, he's right on the doorstep of being second on the team in on-base percentage. The guy you all wanted released and took it around back and put down like old Yeller. That's what you guys all wanted. Old Miggy. And I said, no. If there's an at-bat with this team with the game on the line, April 1st, August 1st, September 1st, I want Miguel Cabrera up to hit. And look at that.
Isn't it more glaring, though, to what the rest of the team is.
Both things can be true.
Both things can be true.
There you go. So, Miggy's on a run, been on a nice run since June 1st. It's good to see. He's going to – and look, the home run numbers are obviously the home run numbers. Even when he gets singles, though, and Sam Flannel, you have to admit this, because I know you're going to hide behind numbers and say it's embarrassing and things like that. His singles are different than everybody else's singles, my friend. They are.
I mean, I'm not gonna die on that hill that he has the prettiest singles, but I will say this: besides for the power, which obviously is absent, he's had kind of a Pujols of last year type resurgence. I mean, he started the year super slow, and I think for a really long sample size, he's been hitting well above 300. So kudos to Miguel Cabrera for having at least a decent average, hitting stretch to the end of his career. Actually, a very good.
No, very good. Right. I wanted you to put the proper respect on that name. So that is it. And it is good to see. I do got to get out there and see him one more time.
Hey, speaking of baseball,
yes.
Did I not walk by a heated Tom Mazaway and you two talking about baseball? I
want to pose this question to the audience,
Can we sort of bring this to the audience?
Yes, we can.
Because this is so Maz and Maz fandom or whatever like this. You mind your own business, and the Little League World Series is going on, right?
We have our TVs in the studio.
Absolutely.
And the other day, they had the Little League World Series on ESPN. Now DMAC and I prefer the Golf Channel, which is on right now. But the Little League World Series was on, and New York was playing New Jersey. So after our show is over, I go to the back, say hi to the guys and everything. And Maz is in the office, and he's getting ready for E&E. You know how they use all the tools, that magically aren't available to us, but all of a sudden are available at 2 o'clock. But whatever, that wasn't about that. I asked Maz, Maz, so who you rooting for, man? Who's a Jersey guy, but celebrates New York sports? I go, who you rooting for, New Jersey or New York? He said, well, I'm rooting for Jersey. But if New York wins, I want them to win too. And I was like, well, Maz, you can root for both of them like that? And I swear to you guys, this look overtook his face, and he went to a different place. And I could swear I heard ominous music playing in the background, and the clouds came in the sky and everything. And he said, who are you to tell me who I can and cannot root for? And then he looked through my soul. It's not up to you who I root for. I don't need your permission to root for anybody. And my only question was you have to draw a line, right? So then that gave way to the how he loves the Mets, but he loves the Yankees. You know what? It got to that. I don't think you can do both of that.
Well, I don't think you're supposed to do both of that, but again, he is right. Who is anybody to step on anybody else's fandom? I don't understand it. It makes his argument for different things tougher on his end, but I just laugh because that's so Tom Mazaway.
It is.
Are other people like that? I mean, I guess when I look at it, being Canadian, right, and growing up around here, I'm a Michigan sports fan, right, which means I cheer for Michigan and Michigan State. Is that in the same realm?
No, because
some people think
here's
that you
what
can't
it's
cheer one or the
DMAC.
other.
So you're from Ontario, right?
Right.
I'll equate it to the CFL. Hamilton or Toronto.
Yeah, you gotta
can't
pick one.
Thank you. That's my point.
Go Tiger Cats.
Yeah, that's it.
There you go. There you go. So you see what I'm saying? But because that's where you're from. You know what I'm saying? You come here.
I would think more times than not you're going to make a decision.
Right.
I think less people are more Tom Mazaway. But again, maybe that has to do with something with his love of bad quarterbacks.
Chuck Brewer says you can cheer for multiple teams, but you can't cheer for both sides of a rivalry. And that's what I was driving at. I don't think you can root for the Mets and the Yankees. Or root for the Nets and the Knicks.
Then you argue American and National League?
Yeah,
there's an argument to everything, and I think I hate sticking up for Maz, but to Maz's point, is anyone to step on somebody else's fandom? My thing is just be consistent. That's
right.
I hate it when it's wishy-washy, and this when it just fits your narrative. Right, Sam?
Right, Sam?
Why you going to me?
I'm just wondering if you don't like that either.
No, and look, he's right. he's right. He is totally free to root for whoever he wants to, based on however he wants to root. He's absolutely right, and I'm right to be able to question it and not be able to understand it. That's fair. And that is fair.
I think that answer 14 says it well. Maz is sentimental, right? It's the sentimentality that Maz lives in all the past and all the different stuff. So, I mean, we talk about it all the time, Neal. I mean, you got Terminal Dennis.
Yes.
You know, your Lions fan. You got your Al Avila apologist.
Loyalist, yeah.
Right? So, I mean, if you look at it, we all do have some, if you dig down deep, there's probably something that we all don't agree with each other on in our fandom some ways. It's just usually not this bad.
Right.
Right?
Nor would I get as upset as he got if you asked me or if you questioned my fandom.
And I think somebody said in the chat thread, it's tough to be fully invested in a rivalry. I mean, then you're just more of a fan, you know, of the sport.
Spenmo, where are you at with this, man?
I mean,
I know that it's Maz, so it affects it differently than a normal person, but give me your best shot.
I don't know. It's weird. Like, we don't have so many teams in Detroit. Like, we don't have, like, how Chicago has 2 teams in baseball. New York has 2 teams in every sport. So it's different for Maz, so I feel him on that. But, yeah, I feel like you got to draw a line. Isn't it normally, like, Mets fans are Jets fans are Knicks fans? And
it seems to be the case.
But, you know, it is what it is. I don't hate on it.
Is this as bad? Somebody brings it up. Is this like Coke and Pepsi? Is this like you got to, like, choose one? Or is that's more, people are more mainstream in that choice?
That's a great question, because usually you guys know how I operate, right? Like when we do bits and segments, I don't like to know the questions first, because I want to give you a real answer, like a real gut-based answer. And when you say, is it like the Coke and Pepsi thing? Because I think that there are an overwhelming number of people that are just fine with both, with Coke and Pepsi. I know people like to be cute.
Coke's way better than Pepsi.
But you drink, if there was nothing or Pepsi, you would drink Pepsi.
Yes. That's me.
I'd drink water.
I drink Coke I drink Coke but if there was no Coke and I only had Pepsi to choose from, I would suck it down. My preference is Coke.
Yeah.
But again,
Wild cherry Pepsi's good.
And cherry Coke is good. They're both good.
Yeah.
Ironically enough, that is one of the things I do miss about the.
Woodward
I do miss a
Sports.
good cherry Coke.
With Neal, Ruhl, and
I do
Darren
miss
McCarty in a
that.
good
couple
discipline
minutes.
though.
Good discipline.
Vanilla Coke was good.
Vanilla
Awesome.
Coke did
I'm gonna
slap
put you on
too.
hold,
That came right
and,
as I was
we'll come
getting
to you
out
in
of
a
the
couple
pop
of
game.
minutes.
That's when that came in, and it was good as hell.
Yeah.
God,
Now
I
they
do.
got cherry vanilla Coke.
And cherry vanilla Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So, hey, we'll take our first break. When we come back, we got him on the line right now. Jason Ross, who will be handling the television duties for play-by-play for the Detroit Lions this preseason. Local guy, good friend of mine. Happy for him and his success. And we will talk to him about the art of play-by-play, what he thinks from the Lions. He's been out at camp all week, too, like Spenmo. Be curious to pick his brain on everything that is going on. And let me tell you about the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. That is right. What could be better than watching celebrities like Braylon Edwards or Darren McCarty play golf? How about playing golf yourself and being treated like a celebrity? That's what. Stop into any Randy Wise dealership for your chance to play golf like a celebrity. VIP transportation, free golf at one of Michigan's best courses, and a tasty steak after. Compliments of Fairway Packing Company. Greatest steaks I ever had in my life I got from Fairway Packing Company that time we were out there broadcasting live. Make the wise decision and get to Randy Wise for your chance to win today. It's the Randy Wise Automotive Celebrity Golf Tour.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Off and running here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal, Ruhl, 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty here with you at Woodward Sports. Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter as well. And right now, as promised, when you tune in the Detroit Lions game tomorrow on television, you'll hear this guy, Jason Ross, our guest here on Big D Energy. He'll do the TV play-by-play, also does play-by-play for the Big Ten Network, Fox Sports, ESPN, the Chicago Sky of the WNBA. Guy's doing almost as many games as I am, D-Mac.
You two got it all covered.
Yeah, absolutely. Jason, what's up, my friend? How are you?
Neal, what's up, Darren? Thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it. Big fan of the show. Happy to be here.
Absolutely, Jason. Appreciate your time as well. And look, we're going to get into the Detroit Lions. Certainly, you've been out there at camp all week long. But, Jason, for those that don't know, and, the process of you being named the play-by-play guy for the Detroit Lions for the preseason, take us through that, Jason. How did all that work?
Yeah, it was around, I'd say, end of May. Found out I was referred for the opportunity that came up and had some wonderful conversations with the team and everyone in the broadcast department with the Lions who have been great to me. And, those conversations went really well, and then found out kind of officially in early June that I would get this chance and jumped at it right away. Hometown team, grew up a Lions fan. All my family are all Lions fans. So I think they might have been more excited than I am. They're super pumped tomorrow night. So, no, I'm excited. This feels very full circle and pretty surreal to be able to call a game for my hometown team.
Might be your first rodeo, Jason, but obviously Neal said the credentials of being behind the microphone, calling different types of games and stuff like this. What is the one thing when this was announced and it sunk in that you're going to be doing this that you really look forward to? Because you mentioned you are a hometown kid and you've followed this team your whole life, not just reporting on it, but now getting to be able to talk about it. So what for you is the thing you're most excited about?
Yeah, Darren, well, both of you guys have been in Detroit for so long, and you know how passionate this fan base is. And for me, in my lifetime, I've never experienced this much excitement going into a Lions season, and especially nationally with the media. And I think the last time there was this much maybe excitement going into a season, social media didn't really exist. So now you see it everywhere you go, and every time you turn on your phone, there's, a different sites talking about the Lions, or different networks talking about the Lions. And to be able to kind of be in that role of preseason where we're hopefully previewing what the team is going to look like to go to Kansas City week 1 and play that big game at Arrowhead. We're hopefully previewing what the team will look like on that day and beyond in a season that a lot of people think could be really successful. And you're coming off your first winning season since 2017, favorites maybe win a division title this year. Haven't done that since 1993. So it's really cool for me, I think, to just quite literally step into the role of previewing all this excitement. And I love bringing energy on broadcast, so I think this is something where naturally as preseason, you're not going too crazy over something that happens, but you get to kind of step into and feel that fan excitement. Training camp's been super fun over the last week or so. I think there were 4,500 people lining up a couple of weeks ago for the training camp tickets, so I feel like that kind of conveys the excitement right now. You have Ford Field season tickets sold out for the first time ever. So you're just feeling that every day at camp, and you feel that in the players' voices and when you talk to fans. I talked to a fan the other day who's been a fan since the 1960s. He told me he's never been this excited for a Lions season. So I'm pretty pumped to kind of, hopefully give it a convey why you should be excited.
Jason Ross Jr., our guest here on Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. He'll be the TV voice you hear tomorrow for the Detroit Lions and all preseason long for the Detroit Lions on television. So, Jason, give everybody, like we talked about, you're born and bred here, grew up here in this area. Sports fans, you and I worked together at Oakland University for a while as well. Just kind of give everybody your path, man, from the beginning of doing this all the way up until, tomorrow as you take the mic for the Lions.
Yeah, it's been fun over the last couple of weeks because I'm staying with my family here in Farmington Hills. And I live in Chicago now, but staying with the family in Farmington Hills, and just grew up loving Detroit sports. The early 2000s Pistons teams, early 2000s Red Wings, and the Red Wings in 08, and just that team really developed my love for hockey, and that's one of my favorite sports. And basketball, watching the Pistons, and of course the Lions over the years. I remember my first ever Lions game I went to wasn't a very good game. It was 2004. The Colts had Peyton Manning at Detroit on Thanksgiving Day, and Detroit got blown out that day. But it was my first time at Ford Field, and it was just being in sports atmospheres, as you know, Neal, as a play-by-play broadcaster. I think for me, I said to myself one day, this would be pretty cool to be able to be in the atmosphere for a job. And I always loved watching games and watching highlights and hearing the voices behind those highlights who were narrating the games. And kind of fell in love with that around the middle school age. And just from that point on, I was obsessed with it, always studying it, listening to games, and the way of just kind of analyzing what the broadcasters were saying, and reading about it, listening to interviews with broadcasters, trying to meet broadcasters like yourself, Neal, and looking up to you and guys like Ken Cal and Dan Dickerson with the Tigers, and Dan Miller, who I've seen around Lions camp over the last week or so. Just kind of, we have such a good stable of broadcasters in Detroit, and that was really inspiring for me too. And then I started calling games just for practice in high school, and then college I went to a small school, Lawrence Tech University in Southfield, and started calling games there. Worked, of course, with you as well, Neal, at Oakland, and you gave me one of my first opportunities to do an Oakland women's basketball, and that's a core memory for me in terms of helping me develop and just kind of sitting there and watching you work. And it was so just watching our broadcasters here, and I would go down to Pistons games and Red Wings games and just call them for practice, for reps, and that was something I would do. And nobody really ever heard those games that I was calling, but I would just do it for practice. Then worked in the United School Professional Baseball League in Utica, Michigan, did some writing with Sports Illustrated, and started a digital show with a friend of mine who, Neal, Jenna Rose. We did our Detroit sports show that was digital. We film it and just kind of go down to games and record ourselves talking about Detroit sports. So definitely the roots are here. So it feels really full circle to be back here and now have this opportunity with the Lions.
Talking to Jason Ross Jr., going to do the play-by-play broadcast for the Lions exhibition, local guy. My question as we get into being around training camp and stuff like this, and here at Woodward Sports, we are stoked, not scared, baby. You know that all throughout. My question to you, Jason, from being around the team and being around Allen Park and Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes and stuff like this, tell me why it's not the same old Lions. And it's more, I know we can get into the talent and who looks good and this guy who they drafted and stuff, but what about the atmosphere? Like you said, you talked about the fans, the season tickets sold out. You talked about 4,500 people trying to get into practice. You talked about the excitement for tomorrow's game. But what about training camp? Why is it different? Why is this culture different, do you feel?
That's true, Darren. We don't get scared around here. I think for me, Dan Campbell, when you talk to him, Bill Parcells was a big influence on Dan. And Bill Parcells used to do this thing where he'd pass around mouse traps in the locker room, and it was like the metaphor of don't take the keys, or else you're going to end up with the trap. And for me, we're talking to Dan Campbell this afternoon in our production meeting. I kind of want to ask him about this, just how that mindset of not falling into the trap of the hype. There's a lot of it, and rightfully so, but every single player, it's like it's drilled in their mind to not take the keys and fall into the mousetrap. I think that has been really impressive for me, because there could be a lot of distractions, as you know, Darren, in a situation like that, where you have that many fans at a camp, where you have, you turn on your phone and it's impossible not to see. I'd have to imagine as a player, it's impossible for us not to see. So not falling into that trap, really, that feels real. And the gravity that Dan Campbell has in the locker room, his coaching staff has in the locker room, and Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator, coming back after he was potentially interested in some head coaching jobs, and rightfully so. He's so good at what he does. And then Aaron Glenn coming back for another year as the defensive coordinator. I think there's a coaching staff here that the players really trust, and you can feel the rapport between players and coaches, and that for me has really jumped out. I've really enjoyed watching some of the guys going from maybe year 1 to year 2, like an Aiden Hutchinson, or year 2 to year 3, like an Aleem McNeil, That's really jumped out to me. Some of the younger players that we just drafted, such as a Brian Branch in the secondary. There's some players to maybe keep an eye on tomorrow. Starling Thomas is an undrafted defensive back who might have a chance at making a roster spot. And then you have veterans you brought in the offseason. For me, Darren, this is a big point. Like TJ Gardner-Johnson is another safety, and his presence, and the guy like Cam Sutton, who's also another defensive back brought in this offseason, a veteran. Their presence on some of the younger guys, like Kirby Joseph, is really feeding off TJ Gardner-Johnson. And their personalities combined, you hear and feel every day at camp. I think the fans love that. But it's having veterans like that, I think, for depth too, Darren, because I was talking with our good friend Lomas Brown the other day, and he mentioned a good point that maybe a season ago with injuries, say you suffer an injury at cornerback, you don't have as much depth and there's a steeper drop-off. Whereas this year, I feel if you do have an injury, which is kind of inevitable in the game of football at some point, there isn't as much of a steep drop-off this year. So I am looking forward to seeing the secondary in these preseason games over the next couple of weeks. Not sure how much we'll actually see the veterans play, but I think I'm almost even more excited to watch some of the younger guys behind them going into, say, year 2 or year 3, and how much maybe they've improved. Some of the linebackers as well. It's a pretty crowded linebacker room. You have your leaders there, such as Alex Angeloni, but then you have some other guys who are drafted, like Jack Campbell out of Iowa, Jahmyr Gibbs, running back out of Alabama, who we drafted, has been super impressive at camp. I think fans are really going to love watching him because that guy is a weapon. So there's some fun names, and I'm pumped to watch tomorrow. Then we've got the broadcast next week against Jacksonville as well. But the veterans coming in here, Darren, I feel like that in combination with the coaching mindset of don't take that seize and fall into the trap is going to be that for me is what is different from the Lions we've watched in years past and what's building right now.
Well, Jason, certainly you're jumping in at a good time here, taking over the reins for the preseason for the Detroit Lions on the play-by-play. And, yes, it's an exciting time. But, Jason, I have to ask you, again, going back to it, as a local guy, local kid growing up here in the business and doing some things and getting the opportunity to call your hometown team. I know you're a pro, obviously. You'll do the job. That stuff, when the camera comes on, that stuff kind of goes away and you just call the game. That's what's kind of great about this business. But with that being said, Jason, I've always said, for people that ask me what's it like being a play-by-play broadcaster, I've always said that I feel bad for people that they don't get that producer in your ear 30 seconds before you go on air. And he comes on and he's like, all right, Jason, 30 seconds. What's going to go through your mind tomorrow night when he tells you 30 seconds till we're on the air? What's the biggest thing that's going to go through your mind then?
Yeah, that's a feeling that Neal, and I think for me, it's number one, just try to be thankful for the opportunity that's coming up in the next 30 seconds. And I think that, naturally, I think you have nerves doing something for the first time. But I think just hopefully being thankful for that opportunity is what'll slow that down and just step into having fun, like we've talked about, and the excitement of this season. I think there's no reason not to smile the entire time because we've got one of the most anticipated seasons in franchise history coming up in the next 30 seconds. So for me, that's, I think, what I'll tell myself. There's no reason not to just smile and be happy right now because this is super cool and the fans are super hyped. Let's just be hyped as well and have a good show, hopefully.
I'll say it for you, Jason Ross Jr. You're stoked. You're not scared. You're fully brick, baby. Go get him tomorrow. We'll be down there.
That's what I'm going to say to myself here, and we're stoked. We're not scared.
There he is.
100%.
Yeah, Jason, man, I appreciate you carving out the time. I know this is a super busy time for you, but thanks again, my friend. We're all proud of what you're doing, and we can't wait to tune in tomorrow.
No problem, Neal. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for having me on, Darren. Really appreciate you guys.
All right, Jason Ross Jr., the television play-by-play voice for the Detroit Lions for the preseason. Paul Thomas in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Jason is fantastic, and yes, he is. I'm excited for him and happy for him. And look, Darren, in this field, I'll let everybody behind the curtain a little bit. The one thing I don't like about this field, and I've had great mentors like Mario Mpemba, who I think is the best broadcaster, one of the best broadcasters to ever do it in the state of Michigan. One of the parts I don't like about this field, a lot of people in this business have big egos. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like that because
it blows me away. Why?
Yeah,
you don't like
me
why?
Too. Me too.
To whatever. You know what I love, Neal, it's the same thing, honestly, in how I view my cannabis brand. I compete with myself. You compete with yourself.
100%.
So it's all tides raise the ships and stuff. But you're right, the ego. So you have to find out, and there's a lot of people that are in it for themselves that are, we hear all the stories and stuff like that. Around here, it's not like that. It really isn't like that. And I can speak from all the people, in the Red Wings, whether it's Mickey and Ken or Ken Cal or Paul Woods or whoever, everybody's for the benefit of the product, right? And it seems that way. That's what's also too, you look at the opportunity that the Lions are giving different guys. We know how great Dapper Dan is. He's one of the best in the business and come game time. But to see a guy like Jason Ross Jr., who's put the time in being a local kid, get the opportunity, it shows me that guy like yourself that have done it around here, it's not when, it's when.
No, absolutely. And certainly that is not Jason. And love that guy and want nothing but success for him. I want success for everybody, man. Absolutely. So appreciate Jason. So you guys know a little bit about him now. When you turn on the TV tomorrow, he's great at what he does. Let me tell you about the Sports Marketing Agency. They spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. The podcast is called This is the S Word, helps address the stigma associated with seeking help. If you're struggling or some you know is struggling, go to thesportsma.com. Thesportsma.com, the Sports Marketing Agency. They're here to help.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
You're a good coach, Tim. Oh, great shot.
Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports, and some, well, not so much.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, baby.
Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Neal Ruhl here for 5 Iron Golf. Play, practice, and party at 5 Iron Golf, located inside the Cambria Hotel, downtown's newest sports bar. 13 TrackMan simulators, certified instructors, a full bar, and a restaurant. Mention promo code Woodward at checkout. You'll get 50% off your first visit. Get 50% off your first visit, everyone. Use the promo code Woodward at checkout. Visit 5irongolf.com and you can tee up the good times. And make sure you join the Woodward Sports team to watch us play against 16 lucky fans. Opening night of the Woodward Sports Network Golf League. That's tonight from 5 to 7 p.m. And again, that's at the Cambria Hotel, downtown Detroit, hosted by 5 Iron Golf and presented by Mark White and Associates and the long drink, Hard Seltzer. That's 5irongolf.com. Running here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Some reaction to the Jason Ross Jr. interview. Let's go Red Wings party. Jason is stoked and tucked.
Talk whatever he needs to be. He's a professional. He's going to broadcast tomorrow. He might have to be tough.
Yeah, absolutely. Uncle Neal saw feet. Did Uncle Neal get his kitty cat yet? Friday. I lost the battle.
Nice.
I did want to give everybody Shut up.
We got a name?
Yeah, what's the name?
And you should get 2.
Doja?
You can't just get 1.
You should name it Brandon.
Oh, my God. Brandon Katz.
Brandon Katz? I'm going to text my wife that right now.
Can we name him Brandon?
Can we name the cat Brandon?
God.
Hold on. I'm going to text my wife right now and tell her that.
That would be so funny.
The show wants us to name the cat Brandon Katz. Can we do that?
Sorry, Brandon Dogs. In the chat thread. And Bizarro, did you see Bizarro? Brandon was late to the party because he was helping an old lady cross the road.
So the request is in, everybody. We ran it up to the president of operations for Ruhl Holdings. So we'll see what the word is from the top. I'm just an underling in Ruhl Holdings.
You finally just realized that?
No, I've known that forever.
Yeah.
I authored that.
And you know what? The way that you just said, you lost that battle, whatever. You decided that it wasn't a war you were going to fight.
No, I wasn't going to die on the hill for that.
No, you were dying on that.
She brought in reinforcements with my daughter.
You knew you were done.
Yeah.
I
was outnumbered, outmanned, and outgunned.
Surrender is actually victory. You don't have to fight that battle.
You don't have to pay the ultimate price.
There it is.
So I knew. I told you guys that from minute one.
We knew it.
You knew I was taking an L.
Yep.
We all knew I knew I was taking an L.
But you take a W if we named that cat Brandon.
Yeah.
That would be absolute Neal Ruhl W.
Yeah, Brandon Katz. It is male too, I was told.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, it is male. So it fits.
Yes.
Brandon Katz. Yeah, so we certainly can do that.
See if Brandon Katz at home or Brandon Katz at work can get Neal more riled up.
That's true.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yes, but some of the breaking news, obviously, from Lions camp. As we said, the details have come out with the Lions contract and Teddy Bridgewater. 1-year deal. Guaranteed money is $2.5 million. Now, within some incentives that are in there, could get up to $5 million, but they are only on the hook for $2.5 million. So once again, for the crowd around media in this town, and we heard a few that were, give Bridgewater $8 million, $10 million, and I said no. I don't. Yesterday, I got accused on social media for almost breaking my arm, patting myself on the back. I'm going to do it again right here. I was right on this. I will take my victory lap. I nailed it. And when new information presents itself, I'm allowed to change my opinion. I, Neal Ruhl, fully endorse.
Hey, tell the people where they're going to absolutely love this. What did you tell me before? Yeah, you just paid Teddy Bridgewater $1 million more than David Blau.
Million and change more than David Blau.
You invested $1 million more than what you had in David Blau to get Teddy Bridgewater. How are you feeling about your backup now? How are you feeling about Brad Holmes? Keep this train rolling.
Absolutely, man. And again, there are NFL games in 3 weeks. Bridgewater, as it stands right now, you didn't have any leverage.
You know what? When I asked Jason about what's the difference, what's the vibe, whatever like this, you know what it is, Neal? There's big-time NFL moves being made by your organization consistently, one after the other. It's not just one here and then, make a bunch of bad ones. They're consistently keep building. And you go back to free agency where it started in the secondary, addressing the needs into this. I mean, they keep doing more and more every day, Neal. In my opinion, what real teams, winning teams that challenge for all these things that we're expecting, a playoff home game, a North Division, North Division title, stuff like this. These are the moves that real teams make, and they consistently over and over and over again. That's to me, that's the silver lining.
Right, and again, I am 1,000,000% in on that. Teddy Bridgewater, $2.5 million. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Because as we talked about, David Blau was about $1 million. So, it doesn't take a lot. You are still ready for whatever situation. As far as a surprise cut, you can react. If there's somebody that fits what you want, you have the money to do it. You're a big stack at the table when somebody's cut. Not as big of a stack as the Chicago Bears, by the way. But you're still up there in the discussion. So I endorse it, D-Mac. I'm down to roll. I like it a lot. And no, I'm not talking out of both sides of my mouth, because the people earlier that said $8 million, $9 million, I was vehemently against that. $2.5 million guaranteed all day long, baby. All day long. And look, I hope we never say his name again after today. That's the hope. Hopefully that is the way that it goes down. And if it does, even better. So, D-Mac, we're ready to roll, man. They've addressed that as well as you can address that, right? Because if Jared Goff goes down, do you expect the same results? I do not. But with that being said, Teddy Bridgewater gives you the best opportunity to win football games if something does happen. Now, usually in this league, when your backup comes in, like Sam Flannel, like in Miami last year, when it was Teddy Bridgewater, didn't work out well. But what else can you do?
I mean, you can, but also in 2019 when Teddy Bridgewater came, it did work out. So there are countless examples to and for and against. So I just think that Teddy Bridgewater he's one of the best backup quarterbacks in the NFL. And you got him at $2.5 million guaranteed. And I'm assuming if he hits incentives, he would probably have to play games. That's just my assumption. Right. He'd have to hit a certain stat benchmark or something like that. So if he doesn't play a game, which we hope he doesn't, it's 1 year, 2.5. I know that's an assumption, but that I think is a pretty safe assumption.
And more reports out of Lions camp today. They cut Logan Stenberg, the guard, who made some spot starts last year. And Justin Jackson is retiring.
Which makes me sad because I like Justin Jackson a lot.
I like Justin Jackson too. Let me see. I just want to double check. That Pistons fan put it in the chat that they signed Benny Snell, and yeah, they signed running back Benny Snell. He used to play for the Steelers. It's a pretty good sign.
Yeah, it is a pretty good signing. Yeah. You know what that tells me, the Logan Stenberg thing? Kobe Sorsdahl, the draft pick out of Old Dominion, must be doing some things right.
And quick.
I
mean, isn't that a little, I know going to the first exhibition game, and I guess, obviously to give some of the Stenberg an opportunity to catch on somewhere else, but that tells you that the progress is moving along with some of these young guys when these decisions are being made earlier than they have to be.
Right.
You're not up against the clock to make the cuts right now, and so that's just another something writing on the wall.
Real quick too, and I heard some people talking about this, and it's not wrong. Bob Quinn, right? Everybody just shut it down.
Oh, man.
Bob Quinn.
Ow. I think I broke another rib.
The one thing he did do is put the pieces in place to build on this offensive line. The one thing. The one success he had. Right? And that's fair, Spenny, right?
That's fair.
That's fair. It's never sexy when you do it. Mm-hmm. Like the Frank Ragnow pick.
Ragnow, Jonah Jackson, Taylor Decker.
It's never sexy when you do it. But doesn't it feel like whenever people take an offensive lineman in the first round, it always works? Except for Goster Charles.
Yeah. Oh, Goster Charles.
And then when he left, he won Super Bowl.
Same with Laken Tomlinson.
Yeah.
He was good when he left.
Absolutely.
He made some good offensive line picks for sure.
He did. So that's it. People asked me yesterday, say something positive about Alavila. I did. Today I said something positive about Bob Quinn. There you go. Can't call me a hater. I'll always say positive stuff about Lady Jane's, though.
Well, absolutely, because how would you like to win not one, but two vehicles of your choice? One for you, one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. How do you do it? You get to Lady Jane's today. For an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week, walk-in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Can't get enough Woodward Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Neal Ruhl here for Academy of Warren. Mr. Kearney is back, everybody. That's right, a brand new state-of-the-art Sports Dome Fieldhouse with a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field that can also be used for 7-on-7 football. Kindergarten through 8th grade that features AM, PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, a learning street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, and, of course, K through 8 athletics. Don't forget, Ermanni and Edwards will be broadcasting live from their carnival on August 24th. Come meet the staff and explore your child's new school. That's right, you can enroll right now, guys. We're coming up on the school year, and you can go to academyofwarren.net. Again, academyofwarren.net, and enroll now. We are off and running. Big-time show here on a Thursday, just a couple minutes away from our first of the season, our Detroit Lions hometown hero interview, which will feature United States Air Force veteran and senior airman Chris Fenner, the native of Davison, will join us coming up in about 10-12 minutes from now. And a big shout out to our guy, of course, Ronnie Cyrus, for setting that up. Again, one of our very favorite segments of this year that we get to do for football. Lots of reaction to the cat coming to my family and the request to the boss to name it Brandon Katz. Lorena Rios says, Neal, you will need to get the cat some lawyer training if you do that. Motown Cool says, name it that and it will never shut up. I don't like that. DNC ENT says, Katz is the reason nobody named Brandon will be stepping foot in my house. I got trust issues, bro. You know what? If you end your comment with the bro on the end, I'll push it right to the front of the line.
That's right in my wheelhouse.
That's right. That's right there with Bozo. You know, so yeah, I like it. But yes, we'll be doing that coming up in just a couple of minutes. But just taking care of the housekeeping issues from Detroit Lions training camp. The numbers are in. Teddy Bridgewater, $2.5 million guaranteed. Yes, absolutely. Logan Stenberg cut by the Detroit Lions, which tells me when you look at the depth of their offensive line, and Colby Sorsdahl, the rookie out of Old Dominion, is doing some things. There's no question about that. And by the accounts I've heard, they love the way he's handled everything, and they've thrown multiple things at him. He hasn't skipped a beat. Could that be another one, D-Mac? Could that be another one of Brad Holmes' wizardry? That was what, Sam Flannel, fifth round?
Fifth round, yes.
Fifth round pick that was. Could you even imagine? Dude?
Well, it goes to the consistency is what I'm talking about, is about the team making moves, you know, big-time moves, not only with the roster and stuff like this, but it goes back to continually drafting. Look at the track record of what we have here. Guys stick around. That's something that's totally different, too. So, I mean, it's not against the norm for winning teams, for teams that vie for championships to hit on their fifth rounders, is it? So this is another good sign.
Yes. I'm being corrected in the chat thread, too. I did misspeak. William and Mary. You guys are right. Out of William and Mary, not Old Dominion. Comparable, I guess.
I was just going to say,
yeah. How about?
Same thing? No?
Hey, you talk for a living, right? For, what is that, 10 hours a day on air, do a couple podcasts a week, do a game or two, sometimes 3 in a weekend. You talk for 20 hours straight in a week, you're going to get some things wrong. It's just the way that it is. Hey, sorry about it.
Just try not to coward it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just try not to do that. But, I mean, could you even imagine, though, if he hits again? Plus, too, if you want to look at it, and this is a guy that I've written off many, many times, and here he is again. Vitae, man. We wrote him off because of who signed him.
We broke it down because we wrote it off as far as I remember the conversation when we were breaking down, okay, who could be cut, who could not. Vitae with the contract, but coming off the back surgery. But it goes to show you how vital, right, he is in that locker room, and obviously he means a little bit more, and obviously he's healthier or has responded and come back better, right? The Stenberg move can also be towards Vaitai. Going back to Brad Holmes and hitting on a 5th pick with Sorrell and stuff like this, is anybody else sort of like me where I'm sort of, yeah, you know what, that's my GM, but I sort of expect him to hit. You're not going to hit on every guy, but if you draft 7 or 8 guys, 6 got to play, 5, 6, and that's how
as
you get out of the hole.
As opposed to 2?
That's right. That's how you get out of the hole. That's how you get into that NFL window that we're in right now. It's because, and it started, you gave Quinn flowers, right? Bob Quinn, you gave him his flowers because that's where it started with. And what is our best part of our team? Our offensive line. So you see how it's built and how it started. We just added on, and now we got capable guys that continue to draft, continue to sign, and continue to get good players in here, and that's why we're all excited getting ready for exhibition tomorrow.
Could this draft be his best? The last one?
It
could.
100%. And it could be his best, and it could be his most impactful, because if you get what we're seeing out of Gibbs and he stays healthy and that out of the backfield, if Campbell could step up and be a first-round linebacker guy, you would look at what Brian Branch is doing. You're talking about, Broderick Martin. You're talking about you're naming guys off this roster that are making plays that people are talking about. Jason Ross Jr. brought up a great point. The whole NFL is in Detroit covering this nationally, right? So it doesn't matter who it is, but all the national pundits. So everybody's getting to see this, and this talent that is not only coming in is good, is vying for jobs. And what else, Neal, is the guys that they drafted last year or the year before have developed into everyday players, right? You look, and where does it start, right? It always starts in Amon-Ra St. Brown, that 4th-round pick, right? When you got that gem that arguably, moves up in a redraft the highest. So this is what good teams do. We're right in the middle of it.
And as you go back through it, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell, Sam Laporta, Brian Branch. 2 picks in the first round, 2 picks in the second round. That's the haul.
I didn't even mention my guy. Who's going to lead the team in receiving touchdowns this year, Laporta.
Hendon Hooker, who's on a redshirt year.
Yeah.
And the hope is, to be real, I hope he never plays for the Detroit Lions. Sorry, man. What?
Yeah, you would.
Why would you hope that? Wouldn't you hope that he's the real deal, and you bring in a rookie quarterback that's on a $4 million deal to lead your team? That should be the hope.
No, because I have a known entity in Jared Goff.
Well, hoping is one thing, and knowing is another. Yeah, do you know it's going to happen? No, but you can hope that he is going to be a stud and eventually gets the reins.
But what Neal's saying is that he never gets an opportunity because Goff outperforms.
Because it's rolling.
And because Goff is your guy and being there.
And look,
I hope it's the Aaron Rodgers effect, that he's got to wait 3 years because we've gone on this run. He's developed enough, and then
Spencer,
the money makes sense.
If they win a division and win a playoff game, say they do what people say that they're going to do. If they win the division and win a playoff game, and maybe next year go to the NFC Championship, if they continue to trend the way that we think they're going to trend, right? Do you think they're Super Bowl contenders
this year?
No, in the next 3 years.
Yeah.
In the next 4 years.
Yes.
You're not changing that. If you're a Super Bowl contender, it's because Jared Goff's playing well.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that fair?
Yeah, definitely.
Then how are you going to change it?
If Hendon Hooker looks better and you can sign more people
but
because
you would never know, though.
Deal,
you would never know.
I mean, they would know. They watch him every day.
And they're not going to make that move, dude. You're not doing that.
Teams do it all the time.
What team has been winning?
Kansas City?
What
San Francisco?
What team has been? No, I'm talking like winning, like Super Bowl winning, or
the
Super
Lions
Bowl
aren't
contending. Super Bowl contending,
San
conference
Francisco.
championship, right? And their roster's a freak show, but they never had one to start though either.
Yeah, and I mean that's why their roster can be a freak show, is because they just roll it over.
And they never had one to start. They never had a quarterback that was playing well, where they were like that was playing at a Pro Bowl level like Jared Goff did last year. They never had that.
I want to see Jimmy Garoppolo's stats.
We're getting too granular already for it, man.
He had some good years.
We're getting too granular for it already. You see what I'm saying, man? Like if they do what they're supposed to do, they're not just up and changing that. You're not taking Goff out, who's playing at a Pro Bowl level. You're not.
You can. You can. It's up for them to decide. And I don't think they just drafted Hendon Hooker to have him not play ever.
Well, but I don't think he's. And Patrick Mahomes was mercurial. That's like a unicorn example,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
He's mercurial. Now, if Hendon Hooker's Patrick Mahomes, then yeah. But I don't think that he is. He was in a. Can
he be Jared Goff though? I don't think that's too crazy.
Would you bet your car payment on it? I wouldn't.
For Hendon Hooker to become Jared Goff?
Jared Goff, yes. I would not.
Look how long it took Goff to become Jared Goff.
I think it'd be plus money. So I'd probably do it.
You see what I'm saying though? Like when you start working backwards from, like, it's cool to say, it's a great talking point, but where the rubber meets the road, man, when you start talking about it, if this team is progressing to where we think they're going to progress to, then you're not taking Goff out and putting Hendon Hooker in. You're not doing it, man. If you're winning, why would you? And the team, I'll even back that up to another level by saying this, Spenmo, is the way that you're already seeing this operate with Brad Holmes in the draft. And Logan Stenberg was the first example of it. He can just recycle it with another rookie.
Yeah.
And if he can continue to do that,
I just don't understand how that expectation and that rationale of every single Brad Holmes pick works, except for the one that's the quarterback. How is that
fair.
expectation that, these guys come in, they're going to be great, they're going to be starters, they're going to work, but the third round pick quarterback that he picked, it can't be that.
Because with all those other guys that came in, there was no Pro Bowl level guy to replace. That's why. That's my analysis of that debate.
That's fair.
That's why. So
speaking of Pro Bowl, you know what the Pro Bowl of cannabis is, guys? You're going to be there tomorrow for the heavyweights and for Ermanni and Edwards. Yes, that is the Dispo Family Live Hazel Park location. Tomorrow, August 11th, 2 to 7 p.m. Come prepared as Dispo Dispensary takes your cannabis experience to new heights. Located at 634 West 9 Mile Road, Hazel Park, Michigan. See you there for Ermanni and Edwards without Maz tomorrow. He's gone. And the heavies live August 11th. That should be good. Pre-game and before Easy's birthday down at the Tiger Games, boys.
Easy's birthday's today. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Easy.
Easy, you bet. That's the Dispo Dispensary, your local cannabis plug.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Pulling up on the second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here with you. Jump into that WoodwardSports.com chat thread. How can you do that, you ask? Subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Pretty easy. Even Sam Flannel can figure it out, I think.
Yes.
Subscribe to the Big D Energy podcast, too. Make sure you catch the heavyweights today, 5 to 7. You guys got some clips that have been popping off, man.
Oh, yeah. Been going after it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it, man. Check them out. Holler at them. Morning Woodward show too. If you're one of the 4 Sam Flannel fans, you can get in there too.
I might have double digits by now.
Maybe?
We'll see. We'll see. Right. I will grow on you eventually. That is what I always say.
Like a fungus.
Like a fungus. Absolutely.
Damn.
But yeah, we've just been chopping it up about the Lions. The training camp in full swing. I know the narrative yesterday was the Giants kind of bounced back a little bit, D-Mac. And that was something you and I talked about during yesterday's show. And I asked you point blank. I said, if you were in, and you guys never had like the dual training camp, dealio. You had your preseason games and stuff like that. But I asked you that point blank. I said, D-Mac, if you got cooked, say you did that, and you got cooked to the point where the media was cooking you guys and saying, man, you guys took it on the chin, you would have a little something extra next day.
Well, yeah. I mean, you heard Alex Anzalone talk about the narrative coming out of the Lions side. Well, it's got to be the same way. Guys are fighting for jobs. You know, I mean, that's sort of embarrassing. I'm sure Brian Dable tore him up one side and down the other, and, you know, they take pride in it too. They're an NFL playoff team. You know, they have some pride, so they came back out. They're, you know, not the worst team in the league, and it's not going to be the ebbs and flows of the NFL and stuff like that. And it is training camp, so we got things to work on. And you know, you want to see. You know, you sort of have an idea what your strengths are, but you got to see if you have some glaring weaknesses. So it's a blessing in disguise because it's this early in training camp that the coaching staff can watch video and see. I guess like a lot of it was a lot of short, intermediate, dink and dunk passes and stuff. Well, that's something we're concerned about, is how our linebackers gonna cover. So it sounds like yesterday in practice for a few drills they didn't do too well, but that's okay, because they're back at it, you know, and get ready, and we'll see more of it. Something to look forward to tomorrow. Something to watch.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. This is going to hijack this, I know, and it's going to go in a different direction, but the question was asked, and I'm going to get to it now. Chico G says, Neal, why do you hate Hendon Hooker? It's not that I hate Hendon Hooker. He's a third-round draft pick. That's what he is. And when you look at rookie quarterbacks in the NFL, if you say they're going to bust, you're going to be right about 95% of the time. I know what I have with Jared Goff. A Pro Bowl quarterback last year. A top 5 by the numbers, a top 5 quarterback in the NFL last year. That's what it was. And I know this. And I've seen him had success before in the league. I know what I'm getting with him. That's it. It's not that I hate Hendon Hooker. I know what I'm getting with Jared Goff, who is a discount to market right now. That's why. And right now it's time to roll. And he's here this year, and he's here next year. Under contract. At a huge discount. So it's time to go. And I'm of the opinion, if this team does what they're expected to do, A, it's a redshirt year for Hooker, and B, if this team does what they're projected to do, you're not sitting him down and saying, all right, Rook, go in there. We're going to hand over this Super Bowl caliber roster to you right now. Good luck. No, man. It's not going to work that way. So that it's not a hate for Hendon Hooker. It's a belief that there are other places on this roster that could have been improved with that third-round pick, too. That's a part of it. Like I said, you know, you can get granular on it, but I'm talking idealistically. You're watching Jake Moody hit 60-yard field goals at 49ers practice. I'm not confident with the kicking situation here. That's it. That's all. It's not a hate for Hendon Hooker. It's a reallocation of the resources. That's business. Am I making sense here, D-Mac?
No, you are.
Okay.
You are. And the fact is, guys, feelings. We don't want to see Hendon Hooker.
I don't.
No, exactly, because the only way you'll see it is something happens to Goff or things aren't going on the Goff plan. So, yeah, I'm good with it. I mean, you saw, you know, Brad Holmes, quoted as saying is that you can get a lot worse in the quarterback position. So I like the fact that they brought Teddy in. It's only going to help Hooker develop. You know, I'm confident in Goff that he's going to have a similar season, if not better, than he did last year, that he's the guy.
Then there's no dispute.
No.
Like a top 5 NFL quarterback season?
Yeah.
Then there's no, like, what are we talking what are we talking about here, guys? And the more we get into this, like, the more aggravated I get about it. What are we talking about? Let's sit down a top 5 NFL quarterback for a third-round pick coming off an ACL.
He is not a top 5 NFL quarterback.
Look at the numbers, man.
You're not going to tell me he's better. You're not going to tell me he's better than Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert.
I didn't say he was.
Yeah, he's not a top 5.
Look at the numbers last year, man.
There are
top
easily
8.
5 guys above him.
Can you give me top 8?
No, he wasn't even voted as a top 10 guy.
I'm not talking about what he was voted. The numbers, Spenmo.
The numbers. So it's only Jared Goff. You don't think anybody else that's put into Ben Johnson's offense with those weapons, the pieces around him,
I know Jared Goff can, Spenmo.
I know
he can.
And we know what Jared Goff can do 2 years ago when he wasn't in that offense where he looked horrible. Like, it's not just as granular as this guy is a top 5 talent in the NFL quarterback. He's not. He is not.
I'm just going by what I saw last year, Spenmo. All I can do is go by what I saw. That's it. And he's done it before. He had years like that with the Rams, too. He did.
He had one year like that with the Rams.
He's done
Again,
it,
in a
Spenmo.
Sean McVay offense with a Super Bowl around him on a rookie contract.
Right. And then when the roster turned crappy, what happened?
Why did the roster turn crappy? Because they gave him top 5 money in the NFL, so they couldn't afford to put more pieces around him.
No. That's not true. That's not all true. That's not all true, Spenmo.
Well, when
what else did they do? How did they reaffirm that roster?
Todd Gurley got hurt. That's why the offense went to grab. Because the real MVP of that roster was Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley was by far the most important piece of that Rams
And what
offense.
tools did they not have to rebuild the roster?
They didn't have a running back like Todd Gurley.
They didn't have a first-round pick forever.
But if Jared Goff is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, he should be able to overcome the fact of not having a Todd Gurley. But he couldn't. I think he's good. I'm not saying he's terrible or anything like that. But I'm just saying he's not a top 5 quarterback.
But is he not? He's a top. To me, he's a top 10 guy. And do we not think that another year with Ben Johnson and under Ben Johnson, he's not going to be the same or going to get better?
Yeah, but what happens when Ben Johnson leaves next year?
Why don't we worry about that when that happens?
And we will. That's why he's under contract for another year.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not saying he's going to start over him this year.
No, but down the road, you see what happens, because we can all agree that the guy that's gone next year is probably Ben Johnson. But this year, I believe that they're going to continue to roll, and the numbers could be better. Now, the interceptions might be up, but I think the numbers will be better.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Ryan's reaction says, Hooker's a better value. We can gain Goff's trade value, or Hooker was a wasted pick. Also, too, in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, 40 Gumble says, so Spencer, so what? So he's throwing to Trinity Benson, Tom Kennedy, Quintez Cephas, and a rookie St. Brown in 2021.
Yeah, I mean, if he's a top 5 quarterback, he should be able to overcome
No, but nobody's doing anything with that, Spenmo.
I'm just saying.
Nobody is.
I'm just saying. You put the pieces around him. If you put everything, it's been proven that if everything is perfect in the offense, Jared Goff can have a top 10 season.
Right.
So
and
he's
it
not
looks
a top
like everything's
5
been built that way,
right? A top
right?
5 quarterback is a guy that will take you to next heights because of his talent.
Okay, let's get top 5, top 8, whatever. I'm of the belief that it's easier. It's just like Brad Holmes said, far easier to get worse at the spot than to get better. And I'm not. And again, this is all under the pretense of this team continues to go where if they win a division and win a playoff game, you're not making a change, man. You're not. You're not.
I don't think the expectations of Brad Holmes and them is that. I don't think they're capping out at win a playoff game. That's not what they're looking for. For Lions fans, it would be great and it would endear us to him because we've never seen it or we haven't seen it in 30 years. But that's not what they're stopping at. They have greater expectations.
And I agree, and we all agree with that. We all agree with that. You give this man more draft picks, another draft, it's been proven already where they're going to go. And that's why everyone's excited, because this core, the way that it's built, is ready to rock, man, and he'll continue to add, as we've seen.
Ransom says if Gurley didn't have Goff, they would have stacked the box. Same can be said about Goff having Gurley. No, it can't. They did stack the box, and he still went crazy. Like, Todd Gurley in his prime years was one of the best running backs I've ever seen play football. And it was a short prime years because of his degenerative knees.
Right, and the nature of the beast. With what do you have, like 350 carries or some crazy number like that? Yeah. And look, I know, I'm surprised it took us that long to manifest that, Spenny.
Yeah.
To have that moment.
I'm just saying, I'm good with Goff right now where he is, his contract. Solid with it. But saying I never want to see Hendon Hooker see the field is a little obtuse to me.
See, I don't, because that means that we're going where we were told we're going to go.
But if he is seeing the field, that means he's better than Goff. So why wouldn't you want that?
But he won't see the field. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to... Spenmo, this is real life, man. This isn't a video game, dude. Like,
but Brad Holmes is putting up video games numbers with his draft picks.
No doubt.
Why is it impossible that Hendon Hooker is the same as 20 of his past 22 draft picks?
Because he's not going to get the playing time.
Okay, and could it be that? Yeah, absolutely. I can agree with you.
But he's
like,
gotta get on
could
the
it
field.
be that? You
When's
betting
he
on
ever
that?
going to get on the field?
When they see it happen, they see this guy in practice. They see him making it happen.
The only reason
D-Mac, tell him, again, tell him about that. The goalie situation with the wings.
It
when
doesn't
you're
matter
winning,
as long as if they're winning and they're moving forward, you're not going to take the time. No matter if he's lighting it up in practice or anything else, there's got to be a hiccup to be able to put him in. We don't you really don't want that happening. Now, if it comes down to where it's, renegotiating after this season to see, where it's done, if you're going to progress, what happens with everything else, not saying down the road, right? Yeah, Spenny, to your point, the future's too far away.
Yeah.
This next year, we can agree we don't want to see them.
Oh, for sure.
It's red shirt and stuff. Let's just see what happens after that because your argument to the fact of drafting, right? It's both things can be true right now, right? So we'll have to see not only how Goff plays, what the contract situation, how we do moving forward, and the success of this team.
Right, and again, I'm operating under the assumption that this team goes to the levels everybody says they're going to go to.
Yeah.
That's when new information presents itself. I'll reserve the right to change my opinion.
That's fair.
They come out and they go 5-12, and he throws 30 picks.
Well, you're going to see Hendon Hooker way earlier, I would think.
Right. So, but that's my hope is because if we never see him play, that means they've won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like Brandon Shirley says Hooker was drafted for the future, not right now. Yeah, obviously. I'm not saying put him out there, trade Goff, put Hooker in week 1. Like, no, obviously that's not going to happen. But saying that you hope he never plays in his contract or that this will never happen because quarterbacks don't get good or rookie quarterbacks always bust, but Brad Holmes has a tendency of making every draft pick work. Why couldn't it be that? Why couldn't it be him? Because if you're looking at the track record of what happens with Brad Holmes draft picks, Hendon Hooker is going to be a very good player.
No, and I understand that. And I guess you would say it sounds like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth to question that pick. But for me, it was just that there was other avenues on this team that could have been shored up. That's it. When you parlay all that together, and look, the bottom line is I'm not betting on them being good because quarterbacks that aren't taken in the first round, 99% of the time are not good.
If he didn't get hurt, he would have won a Heisman and been a first-round pick.
Well, we'll never know.
Yeah.
We'll never know.
I agree with GW the kid. Right? We're talking about the third-string quarterback. We're talking about backup quarterback, only with the Lions, so some things haven't changed.
Talking about the future.
But you know what? Some things definitely haven't changed, and that's when it comes to security. Guardian Alarm, let them offer you customized solutions from real expert professional technicians who take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. But I need you to call Guardian today. The number, 1-800-STAY-OUT. 24/7 professional monitoring. Call anytime, day or night. Know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as it's needed, but I need you to call the number 1-800-STAY-OUT. Technology backed by people, real people. Homo sapiens. Your safety and security deserves technology that's proven to work, and people have been proven to care. How do I know how much they care? It's irrelevant what your personal opinions are. How much you might just hang on the facts, because Guardian Alarm has provided flannel. Yes, our very own Sam Flannel. Flannel protection for how many straight days, sir?
331.
331 days. See, it doesn't matter. Business, personal, no matter who you are, Guardian Alarm will be there for you. But I need you to call them today. The number 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Stay out of a slump, Spencer Torkelson. Keep last night's energy going and prove the naysayers wrong.
Stay out of Hendon Hooker hate, everybody. Brad Holmes likes him for a reason, and he took him for a reason.
Well, stay out of Jared Goff hate, everybody. Yeah. We saw it last year.
Yeah. Stay out of calling him top 5 quarterbacks.
All we can agree on is Guardian Alarm. Sam, don't ever mention Johnny Cash's name out of your mouth. You both security experts. Tell Big D Energy we sent you.
Absolutely.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer at Academy Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Holton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. Happy to have you along for the ride. And right now, as promised, we are joined. It's preseason week number 1. The Lions are at home, so you know what that means. We are back at it for another season with our Detroit Lions hometown hero. It is United States Air Force veteran and senior airman Chris Fenner. Your son Lucas is here as well. But Chris, appreciate you taking some time, man. How are you, my friend?
Doing really well. Appreciate you guys having me. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to give everybody a bit of background there, Chris, you entered the Air Force in 2001 after graduating from Davison High School and graduated from training on 9/11 and served from 2001 through 2017. Senior Airman Fenner served as a communication navigation mission system specialist at Air Force Special Operations Command and returned to Michigan and served 18 months in the 127th Air Wing at Selfridge Air Force Base. And Chris, this is kind of a baseline as we show the pictures on the screen, kind of a baseline question that we ask everybody that sits in that chair. You get out of Davison High School after you graduate, and then you elect to serve. Why?
So actually, I did three semesters of community college before joining.
Okay.
My grandfather went into the Air Force. He actually served during World War II. He was a big inspiration as far as which service I selected in going into. Like many kids right out of high school, I was a little bit lost in which kind of career path I wanted to go into. So I felt like service was the best way to get some focus and direction. And so joined the Air Force. It taught me a lot about myself, and it gave me a real opportunity to get some focus and clarity, and I learned just a lot. So
I think that one of the things, obviously being the hometown hero and with the way that the Lions are these days and stuff, what are some of the things you're involved, obviously in coaching and different things that Neal will get into with the youth and stuff like this? But what are some of the things that you personally, like you said, we hear that a lot about. You mentioned that I was a little bit lost, didn't know what I wanted to do coming out of high school, and the guys find service to get into. What are some of the things that I guess that you learned that you were able to get that you didn't have to be able to bring back now, 20 some years later into life?
I think so. When you're 18, you know everything, right? Everything is, you're in a hurry.
You're just not right. You know everything, but you're not right.
Right. And so, if anything, the service kind of teaches you to slow down because you have that hurry up and wait. And it teaches you that you're a very small part in a really big machine, right? Like, the mission is always more important than you. And so, if anything, when I got out, I always really tried to look for like a bigger opportunity to put myself into other people, like to find an opportunity to serve others. And because I once learned of a quote from Zig Ziglar: you can get everything out of life that you want if you help enough people to get everything out of life that they want. So it was a big picture to like serve, right? So it really, through service, it gave me a real big passion to serve others, and it really benefited me. Not only through my service, but in business and my personal relationships, and I became a father, and everything that I do now is really taking advantage of every moment of how to serve my son and make those moments special with him. So
Detroit Lions hometown hero. If you're at the game on Friday, you will see Chris Fenner introduced to the crowd. United States Air Force veteran, was a senior airman as well. And lots of reaction in the woodwardsports.com chat thread. Lorena Rio says, Chris, thank you for your service. My mom checked in. Thank you for your service, sir, as well. But this is a big topic of discussion. Steve Wilds, Chris is jacked up. You're in shape, bro. Like you're ready to go. Huh?
We call that yoked.
Yeah.
He's yoked.
A little bit.
A little bit.
I still work out 5 to 7 days a week. Slowed out a little bit. Actually, in practice last week, I decided to. So we were measuring 40 times of our kids, and I decided to challenge the kid with the fastest 40 time, and I strained my hamstring, so I'm limping around really great. So,
you know what? I got a sort of similar thing about going through a table and breaking 4 ribs about something about not realizing that maybe mentally we're still younger than physically what we think we are.
Yeah, my brain is very much Riggs. My body's very much Murtaugh now that I hit 40. Like, it's just very, it's
That's awesome. Little lethal weapon.
Absolutely. Joined by Chris Fenner here. He is the Detroit Lions hometown hero. You'll see him introduced at the game tomorrow. So, Chris, right now you live in Grand Blanc. You're a youth football coach. You're the vice president of the Grand Blanc Youth Football League as well. This week, the NFL highlighting NFL Play 60 highlights youth football coaches and veterans and guys that are out there, guys and girls that are out there in the community in football. What do you get out of football? And I would imagine that it's probably a very similar answer as to why you served and what your goal was to serve. But I mean, again, just coaching youth from the area you're from, it's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, so Grand Blanc's a really big community, right? They have 7 elementary schools. They have 2 middle schools, 2 high schools. It's a big community, right? There's a lot of really talented youth. And my son went to elementary school there. That's why we got involved into the youth program there. And, you talk about the Lions. Chris over there, the director of football education, really did something quite phenomenal with this, with my salute to service this week. He actually gave me a ton of tickets to make sure I could bring all of the kids that I coached this year out to the game and be able to bring them onto the field with me.
Oh, awesome.
And the Lions have really rolled out the red carpet for these kids and to really give them a really special experience to tomorrow's game that I'm really excited to share with them. And so anytime that you can make an impact on a kid's life, and I think football is a great opportunity because through sports you might be able to make a kid work harder in school and maybe make them a better kid that might put them on a better track to keep them out of trouble, and maybe they do better in school, or maybe they find a path that puts them in a better situation later on in life, and to be just maybe something that steers them on a path early is something that I take pride in. So,
well, that answered my question. What do you look forward to the most about being honored? And again, I can hear it, and it's sort of with that military spec, which I was introduced in. I'm almost 8 years sober, so having the way that things are done, right, no matter what, without saying. So the fact, how many kids will you be bringing down there tomorrow?
Close to 30.
That's and that's awesome. Probably first time a lot for all of them. The fact to be able to get on the field and stuff like that. Talk, just a little bit more about coaching. Like, how many teams are in the league that you coach or around, or how competitive is this, like with this Play 60 and stuff like that? Because see the commercials on TV, the NFL games and stuff like this. This is really, not only the veterans, but the NFL has really turned it into something for all the kids to play.
Yeah, so we have 3 JV teams this year. So that's 5th and 6th grade. We have 2 freshman teams, which is 3rd and 4th grade, and we have 8 flag teams, which are. We have 3, 5, and 6, and then we have 5, 7, and 8 flag games, or flag teams. We'll play 6 games starting September 9th, going through October, and we play throughout the surrounding communities, like through like Swartz Creek and throughout all Genesee County area teams. Pretty competitive, but we really focus on developmental more than the competitiveness, making sure kids know how to tackle. Be tackled, because it's really important to know how to take that hit, and because that's where kids get hurt a lot, and then getting them ready for that next step, which is middle school, right, and then getting them ready for high school, and then so on. So it's really exciting.
Chris Fenner is here in studio. He'll be your Detroit Lions hometown hero tomorrow at Ford Field. United States Air Force veteran and senior airman for his dedicated and honorable service to our nation. Senior Airman Fenner has received many accolades, to include the Global War on Terror NATO Service Medal and United States Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal as well. And just to kind of wrap this thing up, Chris, it's been a constant theme. Everybody that we've talked to, we've been doing this a couple years now. I mean, we're pushing 30 of these interviews. The overriding theme every single time, D-Mac, is serve. Like, I want to serve people. It's amazing to me how every single person that's been in that chair, their story is different as to how they got to where they were in the military and things like that.
But it's all about service.
But the overriding theme is the same. So, I mean, again, we appreciate your service. I think we speak, everybody that's in the WoodwardSports.com chat is thankful of your service and appreciate the way you give of yourself, man, to serve your nation. Enjoy it tomorrow. It's a justified honor, and I know it's big because you'll be doing it with your football team.
No, I appreciate it. Like I said, the Lions have been phenomenal. Great organization to recognize me. I tell Ronnie I don't know if I deserve it, but I'll take it, and I appreciate it. I take it with gratitude, and I'm very humbled by it, so I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Appreciate your time. Chris Lucas, great to meet you too, my friend. Big shout out to Ronnie Cyrus as well for getting everything set up for another season. But when we come back, we're scheduled to be joined by Josh Parisian, who is fighting this weekend out in Las Vegas, part of the UFC Fight Night, Michigan's only UFC heavyweight fighter. He will join us. This is a big Josh Parisian zone here on Big D Energy. Let me tell you about Strawberry Fest. It's back at Big Boy, but time is running out. You could try the classic breakfast items, the strawberry hotcakes, maybe the mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Not a breakfast person? That's cool. They got you covered for lunch. Strawberry bacon chicken wrap or refreshing summer splash salad. Don't forget about dessert. That's what started all of this. The OG of it all, strawberry pie. D-Max says yes. Deep fried vanilla. Deep fried vanilla Oreos, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. What about strawberry hot fudge cake, D-Mac?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. He doesn't even need meals. He'll just make it a dessert Strawberry Fest. 3-course meal of Strawberry Fest dessert. Make sure you get to your local Big Boy Strawberry Fest. Time's running out, everybody.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, one for you, one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Let one of our talented, award-winning stylists make you look handsome and clean. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer. Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. My childhood may be over, but playtime is not. Outdoor Equipment Company is your source for outdoor power equipment, sales, service, and parts. Carrying top brands such as Bad Boy, Ellis, Tractor, Steel, and more. Servicing the Great Lakes region with locations in Metro Detroit and Greater Lansing. For more information, visit us at OutdoorEquipCo.com. Outdoor Equip Co., your power equipment playground.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here with you. And right now, as promised, we're joined by our guy, UFC Heavyweight Josh Parisian, Michigan's own. He is in Las Vegas right now. As Josh said on his social media, it is punchy kicky time this weekend on ESPN as part of the UFC Fight Night. He'll be mixing it up with Martin Boudet. Boudet at 6'4", 265 pounds. And Josh, appreciate you taking some time. I know this is super busy time. How we feeling, man? We ready to go or what?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I had a fight that was supposed to happen last month. I got out here. My opponent ended up popping for performance enhancing. Didn't tell me exactly what it was, but USADA, who tests us for all sorts of performance enhancing drugs, Popped him for that, and then my fight fell through. They tried to find me somebody while I was out there. Couldn't find anybody, and they rescheduled me for this Saturday. But yeah, I feel really good, and this is the longest fight camp I've ever been in. I had a 12-week camp for that last fight, and I had 4 more weeks, so I've been on a 16-week fight camp.
So what is it? So talk about that, Josh, going in tomorrow night, and I don't know, ring rust or anything like that. You've been getting in the ring and putting it. So I guess mentally, how do you prepare yourself? I guess with all this extra time, you know, you missed a couple fights, you know, because of illness. Now, you know, guys testing PEDs and stuff like this. How do you stay sharp and focused? Because as Neal said, you're not fighting a little dude tomorrow. You're fighting a Croatian jiu-jitsu, you know, it's a hoss fight. So mentally, how do you prepare yourself? Because you haven't had, I guess, live combat in, like you said, in 16 weeks.
You know, I wouldn't say that it's the ring rust or the lack of combat that was the mental struggle. It's almost like in my mind, the fight camp was over. I was gonna fight, and then it's relax time again. You know, we periodize, we do things a certain way to peak at a certain time, and that happens, and I got 4 weeks, and I got to stay motivated to eat clean, do all my stuff, my nutrition, and try to get back into it. And it was kind of hard to do that for the first week. I still did all the workouts, but just like, I don't know, it was hard mentally. But after that, I got back on track, and I felt really good about the plan to stay in good shape and peaked by the time this fight happens.
Josh Parisian joining us here on Big D Energy, UFC Heavyweight, Michigan's own, trains out of Scorpion Fighting Systems as well. And Josh, in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, the people, lots of support for you out there as well. One question came in from Ryan's reaction. You worried at all about overtraining? Is there a way you can be overtrained because you've had this extended fight camp?
No, I'm not super worried about that. And I'm always mindful of that. Truly, it's worse to overtrain than undertrain. You know, it sounds weird, but that is a real thing. But with the way our camp was, since we had so much time before the last one, the 12 weeks, it wasn't like it wasn't a thing where it was just like try to redline my body for 8 weeks and try to fight. It was, we had enough time to do a lifting phase and did lots of aerobic cardio, and then we redlined at the end. But then with this last month, it wasn't like just red zone all the way until the fight. It was, I almost had like a little mini camp again to kind of relax my body and then push it at the end there.
Well, it's a lot to prepare for in this fight, and I guess like what the strategy or game plan going in. How do we watch this fight preparing? Because you're preparing against a fighter that can out the strike but also has a ground game. So that this is the epitome of like a true UFC fight. So as far as game plan going into this fight, as we've talked about in your past fights, but how do you look at this fight going?
Well, I'm not gonna tell you my whole game plan, but I will say
we don't want to know it all, but it's different fighting a guy with this the technical background, I guess, that you have to be aware of, right? Because as Neal we were saying before, this could be knockouts or it could be submissions, right? It's one or the other. How do you prepare for that? And obviously you know what you want to do, but is it something that you get the extra time and then you can do a little bit more homework, or is it sort of on the undertraining, overtraining?
So my last opponent was a southpaw, which for fighting, if you're going against a southpaw, as an orthodox, you'll move in the opposite direction. So I spent 12 weeks, moving left, because you're trying to get to the outside of the front foot. You're not trying to move into, the big cross. So, 12 weeks of going the opposite direction, and then I had to, I got this fight, and this guy fights orthodox, so I got to go back to the, back going right. And because I only had 12 weeks, I spent a lot of the time, I would say, doing a lot of live work, a lot of strategy, because we have a short window of, trying to completely change our strategy. Because this last guy I was going to fight, he swings hard. He looks for a knockout early. Doesn't have much past the first round. Not dangerous after the first round. This guy doesn't hit as hard. More volume. Goes to decision almost every time. So it was a whole different game plan, and it's a whole different game plan, whole different a lot of different energy systems changing. But I mean, it was last minute for him too, and I'm hoping that we did everything we could in the time that we had to prepare for the opportunity ahead.
Josh Parisian joining us here. He will be in action tomorrow on ESPN Fight Night. Fight is scheduled probably around 6 o'clock-ish in that area. Josh Parisian, Martin Boudet will be mixing it up. You can check that out on ESPN Plus as well. Josh, somebody asked, also, Steve asked in the WoodwardSports.com chat, that asked about legitimately being nervous, like going into fights. And I want to piggyback on this because if I've asked you this question before, I apologize, but I'm amazed by the psychology of what you guys do. How you walk down that aisle, they close that door behind you, and only one of you are coming out victorious, and the other one will be the loser. I mean, like all the chips are in the middle of the table, and you are like such a laid back dude. Ronnie Cyrus said hello, by the way. He was just in studio a couple minutes ago. But it's for me, with all those stakes on the line and stuff like that, and you're a very easygoing guy. When I talk to you in person, everything like that, you're very chill, very laid back. When they close that door, and I've seen you before, right? Like you are fighting for survival once they close that door. How do you handle that transition mentally?
It is a very even though I seem laid back now, it's especially when you're back there and the fight day and all that, it's super nerve-wracking, and it's more than just the possibility of getting injured. It's I don't really have a plan B. I put all of my eggs in one basket, and I have tried to do it the other way, where I try to have other opportunities and build, and I try to do this and that, but I realized that my only way to succeed is to put all my eggs in one basket, go forward. Everything that all my time is dedicated to this. And I have a lot of nerves knowing that if I fail, I have nothing. You know what I mean? What am I going to fall back on? What am I going to do? The only real thing that I have right now is fighting, and I'm in an organization that they'll cut you off a win if you didn't win in a way that they were happy with. They'll cut you. So my job is always at risk, and that's how I feed my family and all that stuff, and that's a big nerve thing. But I actually have been working with a sports psychologist this last fight camp, or actually for the last 16 weeks, and working on a lot of more like meditation almost, where I'm just trying to not dwell on these negative things, like all the what ifs, like, oh, what if this happens? What if this happens? All those bad things that could happen. But trying to clear my mind and reset, and did a lot of exercise to just not think about it. Really, I mean, no matter what, I'm gonna walk out there. I'm gonna get in a fight. There's gonna be a winner. It's gonna happen no matter what. So I'm trying to use these skills to not dwell on it and be worried about it, and let it affect my mindset.
Love it. You got to put it all into it. That's sort of like Neal's mindset, as he says, 1 o'clock always comes, no matter what. You can't stop it, and that's a great mentality to have, Josh. And I think that the one thing that I always love and respect about you and is the fact is that you lay it out there. We know exactly, when you say, hey, this is what I do, this is what I got, this is how I feed my family. How's your new truck? You get the new truck from the fight back in the, right?
Yeah.
I love it. That's what it's all about. And that's why we all love you and persevere. And no matter what happens out there, it's the fact that whatever the monsters are to go out there, at the end of the day, you're going to give it your best. And we're going to be watching. You got a whole bunch of fans here, brothers. So good luck. And by far, you're ready. You're prepared. And that's all you can do. Check that off your list, but you're ready when you step in that ring, and we look forward to cheering you on, bud.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely, Josh. You're in shape, bro. Like, you're looking as good as you've looked. So we'll all be locked into it for sure. Again, like D-Mac said, man, that's why we love you. There is no plan B. I love that, Josh.
So
I love it. We're there with you, man, and we'll get you back on again. We'll kind of break it down.
Go get him, bud.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, there he is, Josh Parisian, everybody. UFC Heavyweight. He'll be in action tomorrow on UFC Fight Night as he squares up with Martin Buday. Josh Parisian right now plus 165 on the betting line. Buday minus 195. So that's what the money thinks of it. But when they close that door, the betting lines will not help Mr. Buday.
Not at all.
None of that helps you, man. That D-Mac, look, man. The reason I love Josh so much, number one, like we talked about, he's all in. I love the story. He's Michigan's only UFC heavyweight. I love that. There's no plan B. D-Mac, you talked about it. Like you knew what your plan B was, and you were scared of it. So that's why I don't have a plan B. Like I love guys that do that, dude.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Put it all out there. And here's the thing. When you put your monsters out there, like whether you have those fears or you have anything and you talk about them like he does, and you go about the steps to get them, talking to, sports psychologists and stuff like that, you're putting yourself in the best position. So the fact that he's not letting it stew in the back of his head, he'll be ready. He'll be clear, and hopefully the training will take over. Up against a formidable guy, but I got all the confidence in the world in you, Josh.
Steve Reinhardt says Brandon Katz is Michigan's only deadweight, so there's that out there. As well. But yeah, we'll be locked in. Someone was asking ESPN Plus. You can watch ESPN Fight Night tomorrow. The card on ESPN as well. Tell him about Swiss Insurance. Mr. Buday better look into some insurance.
Hey, he better when Josh Parisian. He doesn't want any of that Josh Parisian smoke. And are you planning or sponsoring a golf outing this year? Ask Swiss Insurance about hole-in-one, putting contest, and $1 million shootout coverage. For a very affordable amount, you could give away a huge prize like $10,000 or a new car. Help build your business with big ideas. Check out Swiss today, SwissINS.com, or call Mark at 248-800-4177. Again, that is 248-800-4177, Swiss Insurance.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
How would you like to win a $100K Vegas getaway, take your closest friends, and live it up in the city that never sleeps?
Yes.
It's the Cintron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter to win the $100K Vegas getaway at drinkcintron.com/Vegas. And buy Cintron at your local Meijer store. Cintron, the healthier energy drink with great taste and the choice of people who desire to look good, feel great, and be the best version of themselves. drinkcintron.com/Vegas is where you go to sign up and figure out more.
Coming down the stretch here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Shout out to our guy Josh Parisian for coming on. Show's flying by today. David Mentier just put down a bet on Josh Parisian, so he's in. Yes. I realized, too, let's go Red Wings party. Tap into Josh's fight, then pop a Honolulu Blue pill for the game tomorrow. I kept thinking today's Friday. The fight's Saturday night in Las Vegas. I'm an idiot. Sorry about that, guys. I keep forgetting today's Thursday, not Friday.
Well, it's my Friday.
It does feel like a Friday. It's
it
my
does.
Friday, too.
It's my Friday.
It's your Friday, too, yeah. So, there, yeah, Spenmo, you got a long weekend.
Yep.
All right. We got a contest winner, too, we're going to get to.
Contest winner,
at 12:50, by the way. Jamison Williams jersey.
Jamison Williams jersey.
Which I'm surprised there were so many entries into it. I thought everybody hated Jamison Williams. The contest entries say that that's not the case.
Yeah.
Weird.
Thought he's a bust.
Do we have a lot of contact?
I was told he's a bust. I guess not. What do you got popping for the weekend, Spenny?
I'm shout out to Chad Johnson. I'm going to the Lions game on Friday. He gave us some front row tickets, so we're gonna go down to there. Going out for Easy's birthday after. We might hit Legends. We might hit something else. Something going down in the streets.
D-Mac, did you hear how he just went? Might go to Legends. No, there is no might.
We're probably going to Legends. Going to be out in those streets.
There is no probably.
Man, I'm going to be out downtown. Am I going to have to maybe chaperone these kids?
Hey, yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been, at least when it was Chassis back in the day.
It's going to be a good time. I plan on having a good weekend.
I have utmost confidence and faith in you, Spenmo, that you will do exactly that. So, but yeah, big time. Looking forward to the fights this weekend to Detroit City FC, home match against Charleston. Come on out. If you can't come out, TV 20, ESPN Plus, I'm just saying.
Time is that game?
That will be 7:30.
7:30.
7:30, that will be
Beautiful night in Detroit.
Tony D says, I have a Legends koozie.
Hell yeah.
Of course.
Are you a koozie guy, Spenmo?
I mean, I don't carry one on me or anything, but if there's one there, I'll use it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I proudly say I've never used a koozie.
What?
I drink them too fast for them to get warm.
That's fair. I just if they're too cold.
Man up.
It's nice to have a koozie. Nothing wrong with a koozie.
Yes, sir. Can we flash poll that one? WoodwardSports.com chat poll. Koozies. Yes or no?
How do you spell koozie?
I think it's K-O-O-Z-I-E-S. Yeah. Steve Brown, did you give away the jersey yet? We did not. 1250. We will be doing it here on Big D Energy. I just cast my vote in there. I'll be curious to see where that goes. I wonder if koozies are overrated.
Yeah, it's not something that needs to happen, but if it's there,
yeah, I think more to what your point is that they're always in the golf giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like if it's there and you got one, you just sort of throw it on. But
right, but I'm not bringing one with me. Go Blue says Neal's...
That's a boater thing, though.
Yeah.
That's a boater
For
thing.
sure.
If you're a boater,
if you're on a boat,
I think you're a koozie. I think
Does canoeing count?
Canoeing counts.
Canoeing, yeah. Tubing counts.
I did have a buddy that had the koozie when we went. Everyone goes through a canoe phase in their life, right? Where you do it a whole bunch of times. It's the best thing ever, and then one day you're like,
yeah,
I'm over it. My one buddy had one that was on a rope that went around his neck.
Oh yeah,
which was pretty smart in retrospect.
Yeah,
pretty smart in retrospect.
I used to mow the lawn with the helmet with the.
No, yeah. That's what it's about.
Go
Blue in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Neal never uses a koozie because you don't do them with lemon drops. It's a Goldschlager?
Ugh. God.
Yeah, that was a dark time. That was a dark time for everybody.
Four Locos.
That'll black you out.
Four Locos.
Four Locos. I shotgun to Four
Shout
Loko.
out to Louis Ramos.
Can we go back to that? That is insane because I've dabbled in Four Locos as well, but shotgunning one, how are you alive?
Yeah, I made it through that night.
He's a machine.
Hoof-hearted says
I've done it.
Yeti is the North Face of koozies.
That
is probably true.
That is true.
Just kind of wrapping up some Lions discussion. Cam Sutton looked good at camp yesterday. Check. D-Mac, check. And oh, by the way, how many weeks away are we?
3, 4?
4 weeks away. Arrowhead Field. A quick 2-minute preview, D-Mac?
Oh, I love it.
What are you expecting? Lions, Chiefs, Arrowhead Field. And from what you've seen at camp, has anything changed?
No, I think it's a one-score game. I mean, you're still up against it, going against the champs, but I think you have the ability to jump out on them. I mean, it's a game that I believe that you can win. The biggest thing is getting through training camp and exhibition healthy. So reevaluate then. But I like where we're at.
What do you got on it, Sam Flannel?
I mean,
You getting nervous?
I mean, of course I'm nervous for that game because it's
your boy Patrick Mahomes is up against it.
No, I'm rooting for the Lions. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to get this one. I still do, and a lot of people aren't going to like that, but still, you're going up against the defending champs, the Monstars of the NFL right now. And as I've always said on numerous shows, it's your rite of passage right now if you're an up-and-coming NFL team to lose to the Chiefs. The Bills have done it. The Bengals have done it.
Once.
But that one time, and Joe Burrow doesn't have a Super Bowl, and Patrick Mahomes has two. But still, that did happen once. The Eagles did it last year in the Super Bowl. The San Francisco 49ers took that ass whooping at home to the Kansas City Chiefs. It's the rite of passage. The Chiefs are king right now, and the Lions, I think they will keep it close, but they will ultimately lose.
That's some hardcore meat riding right there.
Where you at?
I expect them to go out there and compete. Can they win the game? Yes. Do I think they're going to win the game? We'll see. It's going to be a tough matchup. You're going in the Arrowhead, playing the best team in the league. Are the Chiefs going to be as good as they were last year? No, I don't think so. So I think this is a very reasonable opportunity for the Lions to get in there and scratch one out.
For me, I've done some deep introspection about this game, and it's very rare in sports, certainly in sports fandom, that you get a complete free roll. It's a complete free roll on Thursday. I'm going to fire up the engines.
Yeah.
I am. I'm going to fire up the engines. Is it over if they lose? No. But for all the reasons I've stated, for clips that have gone viral around, everything that you can do with a win against the Chiefs. You will not get this opportunity again in the season. Not until the playoffs. You will not get this opportunity again. I hope they take advantage because that's what it is. And it is a free roll. You're going into Kansas City. They're getting their Super Bowl rings. You know, all those things apply. But D-Mac, you can take some things.
Oh, absolutely.
And I love that.
And we will have, like you said, 4 weeks to figure it out. You know, a lot of variables, and it's obviously Kansas City could lose some guys before then. So, definitely, we're all in right now.
The poll is complete. Koozies, 55% of you say yes, 45% of you say no. That surprises me. We have an update too on the Ruhl family cat being named Brandon Katz. I suggested it. She wanted more information. I gave her the information on Brandon Katz. The response is no with five O's. Sorry, guys.
You gotta fight harder for that one, Neal.
No, that's
no, I don't.
No, not at all.
No, I don't.
And you said your wife doesn't watch the show. I think she does, or she gets update from your mother.
Somebody.
Absolutely. I think that was it. I think that your wife only put like two of the O's. And your mom put the rest of them in. They were in cahoots.
Let's go Red Wings Sparty. I don't blame her. Alex Merrill says, please. No. Sorry, guys. Hey, we tried. Can't say we didn't try. Planet Fitness. We're inside the Planet Fitness Studios, the best gym in the gym game. I can tell you about the numbers. $1 down, $10 a month. That's it. That's all. That's a great start. Gym's got to be affordable, right? Planet Fitness checks that box. There's also a black card option out there, $24.99 a month. You get access to every single Planet Fitness in the world, over 2,400 of them to be exact. Those are all cool. There's 50 of them in Metro Detroit alone. But guys, 2 camps here. Number 1, I've been with Planet Fitness 3 years. It's helped me achieve every single fitness goal I've wanted to achieve. Number 2, some of you are at gyms right now and you're paying $90 or $100 a month for it. I'll say it. No one. You need tough love sometimes. That's dumb. Planet Fitness has everything you need. Imminently more affordable. It's the best value in the gym game today. And oh, by the way, it's the best gym in the gym game. Go to planetfitness.com. You can join there. Pull in the parking lot of a couple. You'll pass a few on the way home. It's Planet Fitness, Darren McCarty.
Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
When buying or selling real estate, flexibility and control over the sales process is key. Sellers, how would you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason with no penalty? That is exactly what Mark White & Associates offers. It's called the minute-by-minute listing agreement by Mark White & Associates. Try Mark White's risk-free minute-to-minute listing agreement today. Looking to buy or sell real estate? Visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. That's 248-290-8242. MarkWhiteSells.com, where flexibility meets success.
All right, final segment of the show. Spenmo, I'm putting you on the spot there. I sent the text over to you, number one. Do we have the winning tweet?
We do.
We do?
Yes.
Let's run that right now. Let's give away that Jameson Williams jersey. The winner is Rob the Poet on Twitter. He said, I would love to win this jersey. I've been a Lions fan since I was a kid. And living in Texas, it's hard to go to a game. A jersey would be amazing.
Can we get a poem, Rob, on your jersey win?
Yeah, there you go,
Jameson
Rob.
Williams in your jersey poem.
They'll DM him, right?
They will DM
They will
him,
DM
yes.
you, Rob the Poet, if you're watching the show right now.
Gonna
So
slide in your
congratulations.
DMs.
Yeah, we'll slide in your DM. So that is out there. Congratulations, Rob. I guess you don't think that he's a bust, like half the audience out there, right? I don't want to get to that. Update 2 on the on the WoodwardSports.com chat there. Let's go Red Wings Sparty. Said, Neal, just respond to Mrs. Ruhl with dumb comment. So here's the text right there. I sent to my wife. I said the audience wants us to name the cat that. You see the no with 3 O's. And Brandon Katz would say dumb comment.
That's fair.
I did it. I just wanted to show you guys that I did it. And there it is.
Now, see, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that she said no, because she would be confused. Did the new cat say that, or did Brandon Katz say that? So maybe it's a good thing.
Yeah. So there's that. Let's go Red Wings Party. Thank you, Uncle Neal. Hey, I tried. Steve Brown says she's a smart wife. So there you have that.
That's fair.
That is fair. Ethan Roselle, who called JMO a bust? The kid is 21, right?
Yeah. Spiro did.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
Shoru King, Neal, just name the cat Sergey. Give him a collar with a 91 charm. I like that.
Ooh, I like that too.
Now that one I would die on the hill for.
Nice. So you getting a cat, you should get the name. Sergey with the little collar with a 91 on it.
Sergey would be dope.
That would be. Just call him Serge.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sparky. That's what we used to call him, Sparky.
Yep. Audience complaint here from William Rhodes. Neal, whose job is it to put the show on Spotify? They need to be fired or they need to step up their game. I'll filter that above. Wasn't aware of that. I get my podcast through Apple. I'm not a part of the Spotify revolution. So I'll advise, though. I will send that up to the top. D-Mac, what you got popping this weekend, man?
I'll be at the Lions game tomorrow. I'll get to, if you're watching the online broadcast, I'll be doing Peter Schrager's halftime thing, interview,
Nice.
whatever. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to see if I can call him Shrags, like everybody else says. Hey, can I call you Shrags, bud? Feel like I know you from Fox. Other than that, I know there's a couple wrestling things, but I'll be going up north a little time away. I got to go play the Plants. So,
All right. And then we got
getting the
Spenmo.
ribs better for Monday.
For Monday, absolutely. Cherry Creek, by the way. Me and D-Mac against Danny DeKaiser and Justin Rose.
Yeah, not that Justin
They don't
Rose.
know what's coming
The
for
other
them.
Justin
No,
Rose.
they have no idea. I'll be playing Sunday as a warm-up, and then Monday, we're out for blood.
That's it.
And we'll be going 20 a man on the side.
Ooh, let's do it.
Yeah, we'll be doing that.
Yeah.
And I want my 20 from Danny DeKaiser when we win. I want it back.
Yeah, you want it back. That's
I want it
right.
back.
That's right.
It doesn't sit well with me. All right, we will be back at it tomorrow. Spenmo, unleashed in the streets of downtown on a Friday night.
Oh, yeah. That's what it's all about. That's what dreams are made
Look
of.
for that mid, maybe post Lions game, a little midnight Snapchat, as you can see. Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, last week we had some fun. Thanks for bringing you and Beth coming out. We did a little flop house. I brought Spenny out. Did you have a good time?
Oh, yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Hey,
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, it was a good time. We'll do it again.
For sure.
All right, let's go Red Wings Party. Says if you're downtown, hide your girlfriends. Spenmo
Thanks.
Raster is on the loose.
And a Penny Sewell jersey.
Yes.
Wait till he wears that golf jersey. When they're going
Flannel, you'll be with me tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Damn.
Yes.
All
I'll
right.
be
We'll
here.
talk to you tomorrow then. For D-Max and Flannel
Have a good
Spencer
weekend.
Raxter.
Deuces.
It's Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.